Oh, hello, my dears. How are you? This is Olblue, and this is medium to large. What I'm calling my exciting foray into in a second, into oh God, what's it called? Use an Oculus Medium. Right. Normally I'm more together than this, however, not today. Right. So this is my support hand because I'm left-handed. Okay. So my name is spelt Olblue. Olblue. Off it goes. Okay, or if we want it a little bit smaller, Olblue. Okay, Olblue. Right. Now, the glasses are getting foggy because I've got glasses on. Lucky old me. If you've never used Oculus Medium before, or even if you have used it a little bit before, you've probably seen people who are like, oh yeah, we can use it to create, muscle groups and monsters and all sorts of cool things like this. And, you've seen people who are kind of sculpting stuff out, and eventually they come out with some sort of a monster thing, mostly made out of blobby clay, but that's cool. And they're like, they think that's pretty cool. Well, what I'm trying to do in medium to large is show that it's not all about that. We're going to use mechanical stuff, okay, and we're going to make basically some really cool things. Now, head, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press, you can see where my thumb is, it's on this button here, okay, press it in, and this appears. Now, I would like to use mechanical, for obvious reasons, but before I do, I need some basic stuff. So, if I go back and find, now there should be some prims, here we go, and these are all the important things. These are what we're going to use to get started with, okay? Now, I only want to make a foot today, so to make a foot, I'm going to use some basic stuff, and I probably won't use any symmetry. So, everything should be nice sharp edges, okay? That's the first important thing to be kind of going on with. Now, other things I've got to do include, okay, so I've got my layer 1 here, okay, and I can increase its resolution. So everything in this layer now will be a higher resolution. So if I now move out of that, you'll see that these are much more defined. And I can increase my resolution onwards and onwards, so as much as my computer feels it can handle it. So you may notice now the groupings are much tighter. Now, you've got to be very careful with how you use this, because obviously at this point we're getting a lot of serious business polygons, okay? So make sure your system can handle it. If you're using an Oculus Medium, it probably can. Okay, little button. Now, I want to find a nice place to start from. If you're doing a mech, you start with the feet, and let's just start with some good old-fashioned boxes. Well, here's a box, okay, and then to exit out, I'll just drag it out like that. Now, I want it in front of me, okay, and say about there. Now, you see that's a nice crisp shape. Now, I'm going to come in, and you can see where these intersection lines are, okay, and I'm going to do that. And this will give us kind of a good starting point for how I mean to go on. Now, I'm going to put this one in here, and then you notice how I've got my hand inside the model like that. Okay, so we've got this box now with these 3 parts coming off. Now, at the minute, you see, I'm not interested in things like animation and stuff like that. I'm interested in making a good form. Now, normally, if I was doing, organic stuff, like so many of my peers do, I'd be like, oh, here's what the body looks like, let's, add bits to it until it looks cool. We're not interested in that. What we're interested in is actually building it as it was supposed to be built. It's a hard concept for you guys who are obviously very used to organics, but anyway, here I have, hang on, I don't want that shape, I want that shape. Right, you see this shape, it's lovely, okay? It's a very useful shape, and actually surprisingly hard to get right in 3D for the first time, so I'm just going to get the positioning of this just right if I can. And that little arrow coming out the front helps a great deal. And I'm just going to lift this up a bit, okay? Reason being that I can now put it on its side. And I'm not interested either in things like the bounding box, which you may notice is literally all over the place, because I can straighten this up myself later on. That's a little bit wonky, so I'll do it again. That's much better. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, so this is what I would call a default standard foot shape, okay, for a mech. Now at the back you may notice we don't have any shapes coming out of it. That's okay. If I go into here, and we're doing a whole Bob Ross thing, by the way, just in case you're wondering. So here's my cube. Okay, doing lots of lovely little clouds. Okay, and put that in like that and just look at it and make sure it's kind of square on. Okay, I always think that it's all about what you're looking at and how it looks and how you feel about how it looks. Now see that bit there? That's beautiful, that piece. So I'm going to grab that, and if I hold this with this hand, I can kind of see where it needs to go, and I want it nice and large at the back. See? There we go. Now that's a little bit twisted, so you'll notice I'm not using any guides. I'm just doing it freehand today. Okay, there are guides I can use if I want to. I'm just trying to come up with a nice sharp shape. Okay, there. See how that worked? It's a little bit off on the top there, but you know what? We'll live with it for the time being. It's just a doodle to kind of show you what we're doing and to explain the whole concept of what medium large is about. So I'm going to grab that and drop out, and if I pull this in, okay, and just try and centre it by hand and see how large it is. Move your head if you're not sure. That's what I love about it, you see. It encourages you to move, which I think is very important. Now, because we've got these, we can add, I think I'll bring that one out a bit, there, a little bit of height to those. You can start adding some detail. This is just a very, very basic hard surface job here. But what I'm showing you here, if I was to use my old friend 3ds Max, which I've been using for over 20 years, this would take, I think we're into the 3rd hour now. You sure as heck wouldn't be able to do this fast. Now, the difference is, of course, that in 3ds Max I would be able to do some other funky things that we can't do here. But you know what? We're managing. Now, I want a curve coming out of this. So, you'll notice we've got this. So what I can do, and again, this is something I can't do very easily in 3ds Max. And I'm just going to judge it by eye. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so we have this piece now coming off. Okay, now what this means is that I can attach a leg coming out of this very, very easily. Okay, now spot the error. It's going the wrong way, isn't it? Okay, let's do it this way instead. Make sure I'm lined up. I'm trying to squint through one eye, which is a bad idea in an Oculus. There we go. Beautiful. That takes a long time to do in a standard 3D application. Okay, now we could do with a few little bits coming off this. Okay, so maybe some control pistons and things like that later. We'll see. At the minute we're just doing some basic stuff, and I'm trying to avoid, like crazy, bringing in any of the standard mechanical parts if I can help it for the moment. So let's have you. Okay, now this is where things get fun, you see. So I am going to put this, now let's see, if I have it straight up, you see, it's quite boring, but if I have it coming forward to about there, and I just want to make sure it's lined up properly, so have a good look at it. That looks fine. There, no, it's way off. Okay, so it's going to be there. Much better. Okay, now don't worry about the fact that it looks a little bit off in places. Okay, we're going to fix that using some pipes, and I might even just delete that later on and pretend I never wanted it anyway. Who knows? I am. Right, so pipe. Okay, so these are the important things. I'm going to have one coming here like that. Nice. Okay, and that will give us a guideline for where this knee is going. Hello, knee. Okay, now I want it flat on, and you can see with that green line there that it's straight on. and its position roughly, which means that that, see, is correct. Marvellous. Now, that's coming off this base piece here, so I need to make a new cylinder. So I'm going to go in here, because how's this supposed to rotate, right? Look at it and think about it logically. So, let me see, I want this little marshmallow piece here, which is a short cylinder. And if you look, the size is about right. Give it a little bit of space off on that. Then come round. There we go. On this side. A little bit more in. You've got to be very careful how it is. See, Bob Ross would have loved this, but he would never do the whole undo thing like I'm doing it. You'd see that as kind of some sort of terrible cheating. Now, while we're here, again, just try and get it as central as you can. Because remember, things are held together. So how is it held together? Always think about that. Now, this is coming down here, okay, we've got our central piston. So, God dear, this is a bit like doing old school blacksmithing. I'm quite enjoying this. Okay, I need this piece. And if I just come in here like that and just pull it off the back. And then I'm going to increase it. I keep thinking I can rest my hand against that, which is amazing. I mean, obviously I can't. Not quite. Let's try it again. There, okay? Look at that. Beautiful. A simple piston shape, okay? Now, ignore the fact that it's not quite straight. Again, one of those things, I'm not bothering using any constraints. This is more of a doodle than anything. Okay, now I've got my box. And let's just put it here. But at an angle. Oh, yeah. There we go. Look at that angle. Beautiful. Okay, now what I can do is go in and I'm going to get this curve again. And if I just run this curve into here, any 3ds Max user right now will be, like me, chewing their own liver at how easy that little process just there was, okay? Because that is ridiculous. If you could do that in 3ds Max, it would be amazing. And you can't, incidentally. Okay, even the Boolean can't do it that well. Try and keep your hands still. Oh, look at that. That is not good. That is not good, my friends. There, that's a bit better. Still not great, but it'll do. Okay, so we've got this shape here that's coming down over the knee. Okay, now I'm only doing, as far as I'm concerned, this kind of shape here. So what I'm going to do now is make a curve and have it come out of here. Now I can see how straight it is by looking at those green lines, which is a help. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. A little bit twisted, but it'll be fine. Now I'm going to do that. And that. Okay, that's looking good. I like that. And while I'm at it, like I say, you can't do things like this in 3ds Max, so let's do it anyway. Oh ho ho. There we go. Now, got that shape there, which is not very nice because it's got that kind of overlap there. So what I can do is just push this block right in, like that, and then maybe do a smaller one, just like that. There. And I'll do a slight overlap there. Nice. Okay, because I do like that shape, and it makes it look a lot more interesting doing it that way. Now I'm going to bring this out to there, and then if I was to go down to this thin pipe. Now this is all about thinking logically, my little friends, okay? So just be logical as you can. 1, 2, bit fatter, not that fat. 3, 4. Now I need a smaller pipe. It's that one. And I'm going to make a band. Nope. Yes. Yes. Okay. It's just a little detail, but I just quite liked the idea of having it there. Now I can also run kind of a pipe from there to there later on if I so choose, but at the minute we're just doing hard surface stuff. Okay, so we've got this here. Okay, that's our back knee. Lovely. Okay, so this is kind of, think like a wolf, yeah? So they stand on their paws. So this is actually just the heel mechanism with the rear toe like your dog has. Okay? Next. And again, ignore the bounding box because all I'll do is fix that when I take it into a different application. Pardon me. Okay, now I need a piece to come off this. Let's see what lovely shapes we have. I think, to be honest, it's probably just going to be this again. I don't want to use anything that's complicated shape if I can help it. And I want to go up as far as the knee. So let's put that in there. And I need to make sure it's straight, so I'm going to look straight down like the barrel of a loaded gun. Beautiful. Okay. It's good. Now, the back here, where this box is, you'll like this. Okay, I'll put that there. Go into this, and I'm going to pull out my disc. Now remember, it's all about thinking about things like built for purpose, fit for purpose and stuff, which is something that I've been talking about now for 20 years, okay? And it's one of the cleverer things that Lucas came out with, which is that everything in sci-fi should be built for purpose. And this is built as a giant, stompy, rear-formed robot leg. And it's built to look solid. We haven't even got as far as armor yet either, which is cool. So I'm going to hold this together and just make sure. Being colorblind's a bit of a pain. I might have to look and see if I can adjust this a bit. No, move too much. There. And then slightly bigger one, just there. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to put that on, and what I'll do is I'll fix that by grabbing this piece, and I can do that, reduce the size, do that, and that, so that's coming out of there. And all I'm doing is building what looks like the way that these things would connect on. Okay, beautiful. That makes me very, very happy. That piece there, how can I possibly fix that? Oh wait, there we go. I love using offset cylinders. Now again, if you think, oh, this is a bit weird and complicated and nothing I'm used to, it may well be nothing you're used to, but this is just so few primitives, it's ridiculous. There we go. We just layering them on. And this is all about how my whole ergonomic system in 3ds Max should be based, when people understand it. Actually, I'll just keep it on this one, because it's fine. I'm just going to... There, just fill that bit. Okay, I love this. It's like working with like polystyrene. It's just light and lovely. Now, this bit here, okay, if you had a front-facing knee, that's where the kneecap would be, but it isn't. This is where the kneecap will be. So, first things first, need one of these and its friend here. And I tell you what, working with medium gives you a giant sense of scale as well. If you've ever wanted to know what it would look like if you were literally building a goddamn huge robot, this is the place to be doing it. Now, look down here, you see this? This is fairly weak, okay, as a system coming out of here. So, let's see if there's not something I can do for this. I'm sure there is. Going up there to there. Let me have a look at my base primitives again, because I don't like anything that's... Oops-a-daisy, I leant too far forwards. I think... Yep, there we are. I've leaned away from my computer a bit too much, because I can't see where it is, you see. So, yeah, that's going to be fine. So I'm going to... suddenly things are looking a little bit more solid. I think you'll agree. Same again here. And again, it's all about logic. It's all about, you know, thinking about what you're doing. Okay, there we are. Now that part there and that part there will be attached on the inside of this piece. Now it looks like they wouldn't work, but you know what, we're making probably wouldn't with that piece there. Sorry, I've got an itchy nose, so what I'll do is I'll angle it out a little bit more. Bit more. I need it to go up to the top piece, you see. There, that's a bit better. There, that way we don't have to join there. Now, got overlap there and there, which is fine. I think I'm going to bring a bit more overlap. Just have it come right out like that. And it doesn't matter if the pistons are at different heights, because that just makes them look better, doesn't it? Not like that though. God, sorry, my nose is so itchy. Off. It's the problem with being in these helmets, you see. It looks very sci-fi until you want to scratch your nose. There, that's better. Right, so remember what we did before. I'll just grab this, a little Murray mint or whatever you want to call them, and one there. Now over here, one there like that. And because I've got that, I think I'll do an erase and there, take that in. There we go, gives it a nice interesting shape. Okay, so we've pulled that out now, got this lovely looking piece going down here. I don't need any extra support coming down off that. And now all that's left really, because I'm not doing any armour, I'm just doing a quick 25-minute segment on how to make a leg mechanical piece, is I'm going to add a kneecap. So I'll just, there we go. By the way, I'm not joking, this would be now, I'd say about 9 hours of work in 3ds Max, okay, to get that. There's a reason not many people do hard surface tutorials for Medium, and it's because, one, they're very hard, and two, I'm bloody good at them. So I've just been biding my time until I had a good enough studio to do them in. Okay, now I'm going to make a add, stick that in there. Yeah, I've been doing hard surface for so long now, and I don't want to toot my own horn. However, bloody, let's say, I'm not going to say good at it, I'll say experienced at it, okay? I invented a lot of techniques you see today, and God, this is, my daughter's a tattoo artist, and this is literally how she sits when she's doing tattoos, like the way I'm doing this at the minute. It's really quite fun. Okay, I don't want to add anything down there. Let's have a look and see what shapes I've got that I can use for the kneecap. Now we've got that, which I used for toes. Let's have that. I like that one. That one's a good shape. Now, what are you doing, you silly machine? Don't crash on me. Oh, I've earned a new reward. Well, thank you very much. I don't give a toss because I don't use my home. If anyone wants to come and squat in it, please feel free. There, that's better. And then off the top of this, I bet there's a little pyramid-y thing I can use or something. Let's see. I don't like these. These are 2 point. That you will do. I like you. Still recording? Yep, good. Right. You can get away with doing this on the knee. You can never get away with doing this kind of shape on the groin, because it looks silly, very silly. I'll make it bigger. It needs to be central, must be central, because while there's no symmetry in nature, there most assuredly is when it comes to mechanical stuff, okay? Because mechanics use things like rulers and stuff. See, that doesn't look good to me. I don't like it. Okay, well, what can we use instead? Oh, I know, we'll use this. Rivets, anybody? When you're placing rivets, you place them at the edge of what you think the hard surface is going to be. So they're there, they're there, they're there. That way you can introduce like a minor break along there. Now, finally, I'll put some panel marks in. Use the erase tool again. Yeah, in your own time, love. Oh, I'm not even sure I'm facing it. Which way am I facing at the minute? Somewhere random. Marvellous. Okay, so take that out of there. And out of there. I-beam strength. Okay. Move the strength by putting that in there, but that's okay, because we're going to have a piece come off up there. Too low. Just right. There we go. There. Okay, so what we have now, if I just put that about there, is we have a rear walk mechanical leg. Okay, now obviously this thing isn't going to be animated. Okay, consider this more like a kind of a conceptual piece or a background piece. But if you need to make a lot of kind of wrecked robots, or a lot of static robots, or even a lot of mechanical parts, this is the way to be going on it. Now, another thing you can do as well, obviously, is don't forget that using our old friends, I'm going to loopy organic stuff. Just grab this. You know, you can have this coming off. Oh, hang on, I've got the wrong bit on. A moment, I want additive. There we go. So you could have this literally as kind of part of a larger organic whole. Okay, as you can see, this mechanical part on it, and then you just kind of rig that. Yeah, which is much, much easier. And a bit of a cheat if you ask me, but these are moves too, so it's not really a problem. I mean, personally, that's not how I do it, so whatever's going to be good for you. Anyway, in the next part of medium large, I will probably have a look at things like armor. So for the moment, I am going to save this, if I can ever find the save button, because I always forget where it is. Ah, that looks funny. Let's see. How do I image? I always forget where everything is. I'm on the scene graph, aren't I? Settings, manipulation. Bugger it. I'll do it once I've saved. I can't be asked to at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to be working on a completely different model, so it doesn't really fuss me out too much. But I will see you in the next bit. Bye bye for now.